make him get it? Okay.
I'm just happy to make it through that last one.
Yeah, right? Okay. My turn for story time. And this is, I'll own it too. It's a little self-deprecating on my part. And that last song, American Passion, beautiful song. We got to travel outside of America very recently, thanks to many of you, the Kickstarter campaign that sent for over to Europe. And thank you so much for that. We, just a quick story about that. So we're out there for 17, 18 days. We had a couple different rounds of flights. We had 3 whole days off during that whole time. We tried to keep as busy as we could. 3 days we couldn't get shows. One of those days was in London. So we're in London. We had a show the night before at the Hippodrome Casino. And then we had the day off, and the next couple days we were going to spend at a school out there. But the day we had off, we were like, let's just be like hardcore tourists. So we did a duck boat tour. It like drives around London, and you see all these things. And then it goes in the Thames, and you get to see, and it was really neat. But that was like a 2-hour thing we did in the morning. We had all this time left over. And on the duck boat tour, we remember seeing sort of this touristy area where they had a bunch of different, it looked like museums and things for families to do. And right next to the Shrek Experience, it's true, was the London Dungeon is what it was called. Now, I had been to London before, I think when I was in like 8th grade. And I don't have the greatest memory, but I do remember seeing the London Dungeon. And I had just seen Braveheart recently, back when I was in 8th grade. So they had like all the torture stuff, and it was cool. So I was just telling all the guys, like, oh, I could go see that again, that'd be awesome. And we had time to kill, so I talked Driver and Ben into going with me to the London Dungeon. And so we walked over there. I think we did a couple other things. We've seen some other sites. It was kind of later in the afternoon, and we're like, yeah, we'd like 3 tickets to the London Dungeon. And it ended up being equivalent to like $50 US to get in. And it's like our day off, and it's our own money, obviously. And so we like, yeah, when are we gonna be back? I remember being really cool, let's go. So we paid $50. We were like, good, because this is in British accents, I'm not gonna try it, but this is the last tour of the day. And we're like, oh, that's a weird museum. Tours, okay, that's fun, whatever. So we get on, we kind of go through a little queue, and we get to a room, and there's like maybe 15, 20 people in the room, right? And they close us in the room, and then like lightning flash, the lights go dark. We're like, it's a weird museum. And this girl comes out dressed in like 1800s English period clothes, and she's like, hello everybody, and welcome to the London Dungeon. Real good English accent. But she's like trying to scare us. I'm like, yeah, this is a weird museum experience. I'm excited to get on the other side. She's like, I hope you get out alive. And we're like, okay. So another door opens ahead of us, and the 3 of us and like these 15 or so other tourists, we walk down, and there's another like line, and there's like the hall is like fake rock, and it's super dark, and there's like pretend rats going around, and like weird bodies, and this is a weird museum. And the line ends on it's a flume ride that we're in line for, like a log ride in water indoors. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get to the museum part. I remember it being really cool. And we sit down, so we're like, whatever. We sit on the log, and immediately it's like, and I'm like, I don't think this is where I want to be.
You couldn't turn back.
I was stuck. We were all stuck in beautiful London. And what ended up being like a 2.5-hour, vaguely London history-based haunted house. And it was like, we're like walking down the halls, and there's like things jumping out and scaring us. And fear is not an emotion I actively seek out. I don't know, I've seen a few episodes of Walking Dead, I'm like, that's fine, I'm done. It's awful. It's horrible. And we're there, and then the funny thing is, I'll let Ben tell this part, the British lady who was behind us in line.
Yeah, it was really scary. I got called for doing one thing, and when we left, there was one woman that was behind me, and she said, excuse me, sir, can I just walk in front of you? I'm really scared.
And there'd be like these rooms. So one was like the Guy Fawkes room, and like the whole floor shook and it exploded, if you know that story. There's a Sweeney Todd room, that's not historical. But there was a room about the plague, and these actors would come out and but they would keep picking one person from the audience to like interact with and do things to. And Ben got picked like 4 times.
I look like a sucker, I guess.
Yeah. They like did a thing where they bled him out to rid him of the plague, and they smashed his head in behind a curtain, and it was really funny.
He survived.
He did survive. Yeah. So and the day was over in our London experiences, so I bought them ice cream.
Totally redeemed himself.
And I should mention that the memory I had in 8th grade, I asked my father about this. Didn't we go to the London Dungeon? Because it's super different. That was the Tower of London. One of the most popular tourist attractions.
The single most popular tourist attraction is the one that you missed.
My bad.
And mistook for a haunted house next to the Shrek experience.
I don't remember the Shrek part. Should I be sitting there?
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna do another song. You guys have been great. This is really fun. This song is another one. Actually.